How's everybody doing? This is Chris again, coming at you. Just want to share a little bit, some things in my heart. The title today is going to be Committed to God versus Surrendering to God. There's several scriptures in the Bible that talks about committing your life to God, and I think you have to do that. But I think there's a difference between being committed to God and surrendering to God. Let's look at the definition real quick. Committed is bound or obligated as under a pledge to a particular cause, action, or attitude. So you've pledged. It's an action of pledging your allegiance to God. And that's what we're supposed to do. We are committed. Surrender, though, is to give up or agree to forego to the power or possession of another, relinquish possession or control over. So when you commit to God, you're telling him, God, I'm going with you. But when you surrender, you're giving God power over your life. You know, when you commit, you can be committed to something, but still kind of do some things over here, kind of do it your way, throw your ideas into it. Like you can be committed to a cause and throw your ideas out there. But when you surrender to something, you've relinquished all your power, and everything you do, you give it over to whatever you're surrendering to. You're giving your life to God. Because God, when you surrender, the plan for your life, you have to surrender to God for his plan to operate in your life. When you're committed, see, because I've been committed to God for 12 years. I was committed. I was going to church. I was blessing people. I was paying my tithes, my offerings. I was praying. I was doing everything that a committed believer would do. But I wasn't surrendered to God. It's been over the last 6 months, 8 months that I have surrendered my life to God, and I've said, God, what do you have for me? What do you want me to do? Because I can tell you, when you surrender your life to God and you give him everything about you, the stress leaves, the anxiety leaves, all that you deal with on a daily basis leaves, because now your life is no longer dependent on what you do and how you do it. But as long as you seek God, it's not up to you anymore. It's up to God to do what's right. It's up to him. It says, seek me first, and I'll give all these things unto you. So as long as you're seeking God and you've surrendered your life, that he's got to do it. You know, Jeremiah 29:11, this has been the biggest thing for me that's kind of come in my life that I've held on to. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans for your life. I've got plans for your life, and they're plans to prosper you and not to harm you. They're plans for hope and a future. Well, you can't operate in God's plan for your life unless you surrender everything that you have and everything that you are to him. You can be committed to God and still run and do your own thing. You can still go do your own thing being committed to God. People do it all the time. But when you surrender, you're saying, God, not my will, but your will be done in my life. When we being committed to God, this is me, is how I feel. People may disagree. But when you commit to God, that's going to get you to heaven. Being committed to God gets you to heaven. But when you surrender to God, that's going to get you heaven on earth. That's what's going to make your life here on earth 100% better, less stress, less worry, less anxiety, less everything, because you've surrendered to what God's plan is for your life. And his plan is to prosper you, not to harm you, for hope and a future. That's God's plan. That's his word. That's his promise to each and everybody that surrenders their life to God. So if you want that hope, that prosperity, that future, surrender. I tell you today, surrender it. Give it over to God. Stop just being committed to God and surrender every aspect of your life to God and let Him operate in your life. Let Him guide your steps. Let Him take control and do what He has for your life. Because we are called to do greater things. In the Bible, Jesus tells us that if you follow me, you will do even greater things than I do. Now, Jesus said that. Jesus said if we follow Him, we'll do greater things than even Jesus did. Not from a salvation standpoint, but from a standpoint of reaching people, blessing people, healing people, whatever it is. We'll do greater things than even Jesus if we would just surrender our lives, give it over to God, and walk in the plan that He has for us. So I just pray right now, if you're reading this and you're going to church and you're committed to God, check your life. Check it and make sure, am I just being committed to God? Or have I surrendered my life over to God? And I just pray over you a blessing, and I pray that something touches your heart. You will begin to surrender every aspect of your life to Him and watch Him move, watch His plan begin to work in your life and guide you down a road of prosperity, hope, a great future, not only for you, but for your kids, for your family, for your grandkids, and your great-grandkids. So be blessed. It's Friday. Have a good day. And just be blessed. Just have a great day. Thank you.